And welcome back to the ECPC TV stage here on day 3 of ICC Con. Brown Squadron's back on the stage right now, and we are welcome to have Paul Markham with us. Welcome, Paul.
Hi, everyone.
So Paul has been in a lot of different films that we know and love. He was in Return of the Jedi, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Batman, Mission Impossible, Legend, and a few others. So welcome, Paul. And what we wanted to kind of start off with was, let's talk a little bit. I know a lot of us we're huge Star Wars fans, and we kind of wanted to talk a little bit about your time on Return of the Jedi. And if you could kind of tell our listeners, what scene what was the scene, what was the role that you played in Return of the Jedi?
I was in the opening sequence of Return of the Jedi, the Emperor arriving. I was an Imperial officer, and the scene took about, as far as I can remember, it took about, to complete about 2 weeks. 2 weeks
just for that scene?
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing.
A lot of hanging around. Really long day.
So as an Imperial officer, you got at least a nicer uniform. You didn't have to wear the stormtrooper outfits, right?
Absolutely. It was easier to get in and out of. It was still warm at times, but it wasn't unbearably warm. I do remember the stormtroopers. As far as I can remember, their costume fastened. I don't know why I'm doing the movement.
Well, we're on camera as well, so yeah.
It fastened at the back, and I remember seeing one guy who'd got, I've mentioned this before, I know, had got a yellow stain at the front. He didn't quite manage to get out.
Between takes?
Yeah, because you needed somebody basically to help you out of the costume. Didn't quite make it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You didn't have that problem in the
No, I was in and out.
I got to say, I like you were in the black uniform, correct?
Yeah.
I think those are very stylish, and I have several of the action figures because I think they make great pieces and dioramas.
Oh,
so
right.
you were very
Thank you.
lucky to have that uniform.
Absolutely.
And Paul, how did you get introduced to that role on Return of the Jedi?
Well, I was with an agency at the time called Central Casting, which was basically supporting artists. And we were chosen by pictures and then by measurements. We went along for casting and then fitted for the costume and taken from there, yeah. And I was lucky enough to get it, and else I wouldn't be here now.
Right on.
Well, we're glad you are here now.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So with, it's for the viewer, that whole scene is kind of a very simple scene. What were some of the things that you said it took you 2 weeks to get that scene done?
A lot of hanging around.
Was it just they weren't happy with the takes and they just kept redoing them, or what were some of the issues?
Probably that retake after take after take, and they also moved people around. We weren't in the same spots all the time.
Okay.
What do they call it? Replicating.
Replicating.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know that technique has improved vastly from 40 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Scrub.
So, along with Return of the Jedi, which was one of my favorite movies. One of my other favorite movies growing up was Labyrinth. My mother and I watched that over and over again.
Oh, okay.
So, in that movie, there was a scene where she's falling down.
Jennifer Connelly, yeah.
Yep, and she's falling down into that hole. Can you talk to us about that and tell us about that?
Yeah, that was filmed at Elstree Studios. Again, as far as I can remember, it took probably 2 weeks. That was in the 80s, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
And they had different levels, and we had to climb up the ladders and get onto each level. And they had people on each level, and we put our hands through these long rubber gloves. Jennifer Connelly obviously wasn't falling, and we had to mimic trying to grab her with these latex rubber hands. It's pretty tedious, really, yeah.
It looked like a very tough scene to film.
Yeah.
Did you actually see her where she was?
No, I don't even think she was there. No.
Oh, the magic of movies.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's awesome.
I think it should be about 15 then. It's a long time ago, yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, you were in the original Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise, is that correct?
Yeah, I did. That was in the 90s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. My scene was just a cameo scene, really. I was. They were filming at Pinewood, and they were filming on a makeshift carriage of a bus or a tram, and I was the ticket collector. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Of the 600 Mission Impossible movies there are now, that's my favorite, the original.
I think that was in '95. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It was in the '90s anyway.
Yeah. They're bringing you back for the big finale. I know there's a new one coming out. No, I love that particular Mission Impossible, so I'm very happy to know you're in it. I'm going to go rewatch it now.
Paul, you were also on Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah, I was a German SA officer. It was like a mock-up of Berlin airports, either just pre-war or at the start of the Second World War, and Elstree Studios on the Lucas stage, same as where I did the scene for Jedi. And I was an SA officer, and had made the set was incredible, like Berlin Airport in all the flags up there, swastikas. It was either just pre-war or at the start of the Second World War. Yeah.
So was that the scene where they get on the blimp? Am I thinking of the right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think
What scene was that in the movie? Yeah.
It was like an airport scene, people going through customs. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, when they're going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Scruff.
Talk to us about Willow. What was that like working on that Willow?
Now, Willow, I remember seeing, he's here today.
Warwick, yeah.
Yeah. He was very young then, so that would be in the late 80s, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. And I was a villager. That was at Elstree Studios. And I was also a fight scene with swords. Got quite physical, really. Some guys get carried away. But, yeah. That was, can't quite remember the year. I think it was 86, 87.
Mm-hmm.
Could have been a bit earlier. Yeah.
So, Paul, it's my understanding that this is your first con here in the States.
It is, yeah, indeed.
And how are you finding the trip so far? How are you finding the con?
I'm enjoying the con a lot, yes. Everybody's been really friendly and helpful. But I'm still a bit jet-lagged, still getting over that.
Right.
The time difference, yeah.
Yeah, and it's going to be over before you know it and back, yeah. Are you thinking about doing any other cons here in the States after this experience?
Well, if I'm invited back here anytime, I'd gladly come, yeah.
Right
Yeah.
on. How did you, I want to kind of go back, so with your acting career, how did you get into acting? How did you what was your path in terms of to land these roles?
Well, we were with, it was more of a supporting artist agency, Central Casting in Wardour Street, and we were chosen for the role in Jedi from pictures, and then costume fittings, and then it led to other things.
But like, what led you to the casting agency? What drew you to want to be on the screen as a person?
I don't really know. It's just started as just by chance, really. Yeah.
Did you do acting like when you were in primary or high school or anything?
No, not at all. No.
Just one of those things that caught your fancy and.
Yeah.
Wow. And you ended up in these major franchises. That's amazing.
Right. If you were to come back to the screen, is there any sort of series or film now that you think you'd like to be in?
What, currently?
Yeah, currently.
That's a tough one. I'm not sure, to be honest.
Right. No, fair enough.
Sorry,
Fair
off
enough.
the top
Yeah,
of my
no,
head.
it's all good. Fair enough.
And it's a tough question. We were
Yeah.
talking about what we would do. So I hear they're going to cast a new James Bond. So.
Right on. What have you? So in the years since you've that you've been in these films, what have you got? Like, what do you do? What's your what have you done since you've been were in these films?
I did one. The last one I was sort of in quite a lot was Martin Scorsese, Hugo Cabret. I think it was later shortened to Cabret. That was filmed at Shepperton Studios.
Okay.
Yeah. That was it was released in 2010, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I was a gendarme and what else? A cafe worker.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. And you said you were in. Was that a film or was that like a series?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. It was a film set in Paris in the 1930s.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Right. 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 Well, very nice. Very
Martin
nice.
Scorsese.
Yeah. Martin
So-
Scorsese.
You worked with Scorsese, Lucas, Spielberg.
We don't have sort of hands-on contact with them. Yeah.
Right.
They delegate to the first assistant. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Right on.
But
right
that,
on.
it still sounds good if you can go out and say that. I
It's
was in a
nice-
Spielberg film. I was in a
Yeah.
Scorsese film.
It's nice to actually see them and meet them. Martin Scorsese, I remember, he says good morning to everybody every morning when he came on set.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Well, Paul, day 3 is kind of flowing on here at ICCC. Paul is here over in the celebrity section where you can do autographs and selfies and pictures. And so definitely there's still time to come down to the con and meet Paul and hear some of his stories and get his autograph done. So, Paul, we thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thank you. It's been a real pleasure.
All right, we'll see everybody at the con.